All right. My name is Herman Saunders. Could you tell me each one of the names?
My name is Kyrie Townsend.
My name Eric Johnson.
My name is DT.
Okay. The reason why we're here today is because we want to do a support group. Support group that you all chose is that you chose to not to be in gang activities, and by doing so, all of you have come together as a whole, and we decided to talk about it so that you could kind of get a better handle on not being pressured into being into gangs. Could some of you all give me maybe some information that might help us to understand about the reason why you don't want to get in the gang and how important it is to be in a support group?
Well, if you look at young people today, like gang activity in school, it makes, like, the fights between gangs, it'll make another person, one of the gangs, want to bring a gun or some type of weapon, and someone ends up losing their life.
Okay. Is anyone else got anything to add to that?
It's like, like firsthand experience, like, it's like growing up, it's like where I'm from, out there in Junction City, it's like sometimes, like, gangs look cool, so
Okay.
I done been jumped into the gangs, I did that whole ordeal, but, thinking about it now, and then getting older, and then having the people around me now influencing me, telling me, nope, that's not the right way. You get like both sides of the spectrum, and then you go to this other side, and you look at what you used to do, and you're like, oh man, that was so stupid.
Okay. And you, young man?
I mean, it's a lot of peer pressure because, all the gang members, they be the ones with all the fancy cars and
Okay.
all the money and stuff. Then you be.
Okay. Tell me, I heard y'all talk about the peer pressure of getting cards or getting fighters. I heard you say, wanting not to be a part of it. As we talk in this particular group support, what do y'all feel that will help you in dealing with this? What do you think each one of you could add to one another that will give you the strength to be able to, if somebody else wanted to be part of the support group, what do you all think that you could add to someone to help each other in dealing with not being part of a gang?
Hang out with the good people.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. Check on each other. Make sure we alright and stuff.
I feel like personally, don't go to nobody who's trying to tell you about gangs who ain't actually did it firsthand, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I feel like if you go to somebody who done actually did it and they actually tell you, hey, that's not the way to go. It might look nice from the outside, but once you really get into it, it's not okay. And I feel like if somebody had that kind of support, then they wouldn't go to the gang.
Okay. Let me ask you all of your questions, and I'm probably gonna get different answers, but that's fine too. What is it about the gangs that you feel that it's not beneficial for you? I know that I heard you talk about the fancy cars and all of those things, and wanting to be the in crowd. What would give you all a better outlook opposed to being part of a gang? But what makes it less inviting that will help you to stay where you're at and to be part of this support group?
Death. If you look, it's like when you look up the gang rate and how many killings it is, like you kind of want to change your mind because you don't want that to be you and stuff.
Okay.
And coming from where I'm from, in Calhoun, most of my friends who I grew up with is now either dead or in jail. I'm too pretty for jail. I don't want to go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that. I kind of I've been studying. I work in a place where I see a lot of young men that have come to me and told me that they were in gangs, and they had, in fact, one came to me not too long ago that was shot in the hand, and he said that they sprayed his house, and and he was couldn't I guess the young man could have been somewhere about 20, 22, 23, and he got shot, and and I could understand you all wanting to be part of a support group so that things like that you'll be able to talk about it to one another, and it really helps a lot when you come together and think about people losing their lives in gangs, and I've studied that there are certain colors that the gangs wear, um, and I know that that's not the proper thing to wear. If the gang is certain colors, you can't wear that certain colors. Is that is that something that you do or you can't?
Yeah.
I mean,
They don't really stress about the colors though, but like certain stuff you can't do. Like you can't let nobody. Yeah, you can't do certain signs. Like you can't let people talk about your gang. Like you can't be gay and stuff like that. So
I mean, down here, it's different from Kansas, because down here, it's like you throw up the wrong sign in the wrong neighborhood, then it's over with. But in Kansas, it was different, because like on my block, Calhoun, if you was wearing red, then they probably ask you, what side of town is you from and all that, and it was the signs and all that. But down here, they don't really stress over the colors, like Eric was saying.
yeah,
So it's a little different, but it feels a little bit more free being able to wear whatever color you want, and them not really saying nothing to you.
As we sit here and talk, do y'all think this support group will be beneficial for you? Do you feel like you could talk to one another and encourage one another? If someone was to just pull one of you all by yourself and you all wasn't together, what do you think that you could talk to one another that would help you so that that person wouldn't put themselves or think about going back into a gang or being involved in a gang? Do you think this support group that we're talking with each other today, do you think it would benefit you?
I feel like we all experiencing gang. I feel like we all got experience with gangs and like all three totally different places. But I feel like them three totally different views could help one another to not fall into the gang thing.
Okay.
yeah. I think the support group it'll help, but it won't secure it. You understand?
Right.
What I'm saying? Cause like even with the support group being here, when you go home, it's like it's still in your face, and like things happen where they be like, man, if I was in the gang, this probably wouldn't have happened, and if I was in the gang, I had this. If I was in the gang, I had a nice cars and stuff like that. So I think it'll help, but I don't know. I don't think it'll secure it for the thought just to be out of your head. Like I ain't gonna never be in the gang. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The support group would help somebody think different about
Yeah.
gangs.
Yeah.
But when there's a person desperate in need of friends or family or someone he needs to be around, then when they get out of the support group, they may think, well, the people they're gonna be with aren't really a gang, they're their family. But then they probably will see, or they probably won't see.
Yeah. Then you gotta think, like, after the support group, you gotta think about where we stay at. Like,
Yeah.
because Eric here, he live in like a bad part of the town, and then DC, he live in a nicer part, and then me, I live like smack dab in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like when we go back home, this is the environment that we go back home to, like poverty and all that good stuff, and then we see these gangbangers and all these nice cars and all that, and we be like, hey. Because at first, it's not the gang mentality at first. It's like you trying to help out your family and all that.
Yeah.
But then these gangbangers, they become your family, you know? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My study in gangs, I understand where you're coming from, because a lot of times there is a point of peer pressure, and you feel like, and I heard you say, Eric, about the support group is good to give you a different outlook, but the secure part is something that is of some concern, and I think that the more that we that we talk and be part of this support group. We want to encourage one another to make a different way of doing things, and perhaps maybe is there a way that you all could go home, or where is it you won't be interacted with any kind of gang activity, or what would you do to keep yourself from getting involved, or what would it take for you to not to put yourself in any kind of harm's way, in dealing with it?
See, me, it's gonna take me to move to a whole nother place, cause I live in the projects and everything. So, that's what gangs started. So, it's probably like when I go home, the first person that might say something like "What's up" to me probably be a gang member. So, it's kind of hard. It's like 1 in a million, like chance of somebody being in the projects not being a gang like me. So, it's kind of hard.
Me, man, it's just like stay occupied, you know what I'm saying? Because, at the end of the day, it's all about seeing my grandmother and my siblings come up and be good, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because, it's like with me, I got 2 different sides of the spectrum, I got a grandpa who come and keep me every now and again. Mm-hmm. But then that only lasts so long because I got to come back and then I got to see my grandma and my sisters constantly struggling, and I don't like seeing that. So that's why I'm out trying to find a steady job, you know what I'm saying? But being in the gang, that's like worst case scenario.
It wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be that hard for me to not, it wouldn't be that hard for me to stay out of a gang or not get harmed, since I'm pretty laid back and don't talk to the wrong people. And people that are in gangs will say hey to me from now and then, but we don't talk like that, so it wouldn't be that hard for me.
So, like I hear all 3 of you all tell me, and actually, it's really some really good things that you all have said to me, because it's three different young men I have here, but living in 3 sides of town. Like one live in the good side, one live in the bad side, and one live in between. And so, here we sit in this group and we talk today about how important it is not to be part of a gang and what it's going to take to remain staying out of a gang. I think it's important that you do have a support group, because although it may not seem to have a lot of security, but I believe that if you keep going and being part of the support group, you can. I don't know how important it is that you realize that no one can make you be anything unless you go right there and tell them that you want to be part of it. And although you're gonna have to, there are gonna be some times where you may have to be able to, instead of going straight to the trouble, run from it. It's hard to say, hey, I ain't with that, because all your other friends could be, and they seem like they're doing well and they got secure. But sometimes you have to